Hello, me again. Yes, it's John Bloodworth, Gentleman Crafter, on my YouTube channel, talking to you about card layout number 45, which you've just seen. The pattern papers are going to come from the Forever Free pad from first edition. How many F words can I get that are clean within the first few seconds of this video? But yes, lots of lovely colours and patterns there, and a sheet of sentiments. So this is the layout that I'm going to use for this particular one. And I'm going to use that tag that's at the top left of that sheet. This will be a background. and then I've teamed it up with some coloured cardstock that was inspired by the main patterned paper. I'm just cutting down a full-size background. And of course, as ever, if you would like to grab hold of the layout, a printable version of the layout, along with all of the dimensions that I've used, do head over to the blog, gentlemancrafter.com. It'll be easier if you follow the link in the description below the video. There we go, that's the background on, so I'm just going to leave that under something to keep it flat while it dries. And then I shall cut a couple of strips of cardstock that I'm going to weave together. Now, I've mentioned it before, but my trimmer doesn't have a 1/2 inch mark, so I always guess this from just the metal strip that's on the trimmer. Right. Now, I did debate weaving this before I stuck it down, but actually what I came up with was sticking the ends first, weaving it, and then sticking the rest down. So I shall start that here by sticking the 2 long strips down. And for some reason, despite measuring 6 inches on the card, 6 inches on the paper, and 6 inches on the coloured paper, they came up short. But never mind, nobody will notice, hopefully. You could, of course, use 4 different colours for this to make it even more interesting, but I thought this look worked quite well, actually. Okay, now for the main sentimenty bit, and I'm going to use a bow, which will be die cut from cardstock that kind of matches, or at least is similar to, the main tag. So I'm just die cutting those pieces now. I did make a boob on the second die cutting, so in a moment you'll see a very clever fade through from one from one to the other. But basically just assembling this is quite quick. There you go, there's that mistake. So I cut us another one, thank goodness I had enough card. And now I'm just basically putting on some coloured cardstock with some floral dies. I'm shaping the bow, the main bow bits, around a straight barrelled pen, or sticky pickup tool in fact, but it's a straight barrelled tool. And then I'm sticking those 2 parts onto the main bow base. And then I'm sticking the centre strip over the top, pushing that down with the end of that tool and putting it to one side for that glue to really set. I wanted a couple of the yellow flowers, so I've just put that through a second time. And then I shall go ahead and assemble the flower. Just the one blob in the middle. Definitely wanted to use a gem in the centre of this, so I chose that colour based again on the colours that are in the patterned paper, but I chose a colour that I hadn't used within the flower, the bow, or any of those other elements, just that it stood out. Now, I was just showing you there that I'd actually applied a glaze layer over the reindeer head. Not sure it actually showed, but there you go, it's there. So now that the strips dried in place, I'm just weaving those, being careful to curl them rather than bend them, so there's no creases in them. And then I'm basically just applying glue to stick the rest of the strips down. Or the strip ends. Strippers? Oh no, that's something entirely different. There we go. Okay, so I wanted to offset that tag so it looks like it's dangling. So you can see this almost looks like a wrapped gift. There you go. I bet you didn't think that was going to be the plan, did you? Well, you probably did because you saw the card at the start of this video, but, you know, I'm trying to build the suspense and make this dramatic. Just using foam pads to stick this down. Not sure why I chose to put the foam pads on the card rather than on the embellishment, but again, there you go. We do these things as we're working. Sometimes we can never explain why. Because the bow was being offset, I put a gem over that white space that was going to be the hole for the hanging string. That I could explain. And then I'm using dimensional glue to stick the bow and the floral decoration in place. Just because it was a little more forgiving than foam pads. And there we have it, a gift wrapped card almost. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and we'll have a look through the playlist at the other 44 that are currently available. That's it for this time. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And for more from me in the future, please remember to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.